So which fan base should be more concerned about their team?
Philly.
Philly or LA? This is, by the way, I had a stat yesterday. I'm trying to remember who had it, but it was 16-1 in the playoffs in X number, I guess in the last 17 games, that the home team has lost game one. They're like 16-1 in game two, but 15-2 against the spread. Right? Like, so this was, you could see this one coming. Why would that be, Jay? Like even against the spread, 15-2.
Just because of the energy swing. I mean, it's hard. Close games at home. Typically, Keith, so many guys I know that play games in the playoffs, you have so many conversations, you would hear them talk about the sense of urgency to get one, right? Like to get one. So if they typically get one on the road.
They get a little fat off that.
Well, not fat. You're just like, especially like for the Lakers in particular, it's like LeBron James, 38 years old. So you start saying, all right, how long is it sustainable to play 44 minutes? Are you going to play him 44 minutes in game two a day and a half later to get the second win? Like, no, he played 28 minutes last night.
20 minutes.
He didn't play the entire fourth.
On fire.
Well, nobody played the fourth.
I know, but like that's the point is, like, even if they hit that push button a little bit and they start, like, all right, like, we don't need to fight for it. This is the long haul.
Once LeBron gives you 17 in the first half.
But it was a wrap, though, Jay. Yeah, it wasn't nothing. If it was a 10-point game in the fourth quarter at the start of the fourth, LeBron James' butt is on that damn court.
Yeah,
so it's probably good that it got blown out.
Better, Key. It's almost like, would you rather, like, if it was a close game, would you rather play LeBron 44 minutes again and then go like
if I got a real legit shot of winning it, he's going to play the 44 minutes, no question about it. But if I got the luxury of resting him and other starters, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I think even LeBron at 38, Key, could probably do that. The person you worry about is AD. Like, there are times, like, even watching AD last night in the first quarter, I'm like, we're just jogging down the floor?
Well, that's because, again, as I said, Jay, it was almost like it was too rough for him, right? It was like, I don't want to get beat up because something may happen to me, so I'm not really going to fight for position. I'm just going to let him push me off my spot.
Sorry, I just don't understand that.
So
I'm very confused by that.
Yesterday on this, yesterday, Jay,
there have been games where I've seen him punish people, and it has been physical, extremely physical. And then other games, like the switch is just off. I'm like, yo, we just walking into the room and the switch is off.
Yeah, but the
switch
thing
gotta be
is,
on.
but the thing is when they, as you know, when somebody's pushing you, and they're, it's like the bully thing. When somebody's bullying you, and you succumb to them bullying you, they're going to keep bullying you. From my eyes, what Draymond was doing was bullying him.
But Jay, I want to get back to yesterday. You predicted the game plan. This was Jay's game plan. This is what they should do to AD. You draw him out of the paint, the whole thing.
Yep.
And that's what happened, right? And so is he, in the way, like where they say you got to feed the big if he plays defense, right, to keep him playing defense. Is there something? Can the reverse be true where AD is sort of his effectiveness is diminished defensively by what the Warriors are doing on offense, and then that affects him on the other side of the floor?
I just think you need him in the game. So the amount, you saw it last night. Like, the pace of the game is fast. It's a different pace.
Yeah.
So like the amount of possessions, everybody says, well, in the playoffs things slow down. Well, that actually depends upon matchups, right? Like, in these playoffs, you're seeing Golden State trying to impose their will, and you're seeing the Lakers play fast too. I mean, there were times in the first quarter, second quarter, where off a made shot, D'Lo's pushing the ball down the court very fast, and you always see AD trailing. So the amount of possessions, there's a cumulative effect here. It's going to favor the team better conditioned in a game every other day.
Klay went for 30 on 8 of 11 from 3, right?
Yep.
Is that? And I said yesterday on this, Justin, which you don't have the decency to watch, by the way. Even though I say on the air, yesterday on the air, I said, Jay Will, as usual, said something on KJM this morning that changed my thinking about the subject.
Didn't tweet it.
You get monster props.
Didn't tweet it.
You don't
put it in social media.
Not only do you not
exist.
appear on the show, you don't even have the decency just to simply touch a button
Key, what
and
time
watch
is the
your
show
boy.
again? What time is
exactly.
the show?
2 to 3. Did you mention me yesterday?
I don't think so. Not yesterday.
Okay. All right.
Because you warned me that there was a copyright infringement or something going on.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you, because if you mentioned me.
Yeah. From now on, only Jay will get mentioned. Yeah.
Well, wait, should I mention copyright infringement? Do I get paid for every no?
I will not mention
just
either
be using
one of you anymore, ever again.
One thing you can't do, Max, is
Yeah.
you cannot be using my name, likeness, and image.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have them
you
play
cannot.
clips from different channels. This is ESPN.
Did you say
we have the
name,
rights to
likeness,
all
and
the
image?
all
What
throughout
is
the
it?
universe,
NLI?
right? You know, in the contracts, all the
name,
likeness
image, and
throughout
likeness.
the
Yeah,
universe for all of
Same
time.
thing. Who says it has to be NIL? How come it can't be NLI?
Exactly.
Name, likeness, and image.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jay, so my prediction yesterday was in the Max Facts was this is going to be the Klay game, but I don't know that was the Klay game. Like Klay Thompson,
It was a Steph game.
It was a Steph game, but Klay Thompson is capable. I think he and every player who ever lived gets hotter than anyone who ever lived when he gets hot. He wasn't even really hot last night. It was just kind of Klay hitting shots.
Yo, look, Key, like this is nerdy basketball, but like, you know, certain players, when they catch the ball, they dip the ball before they shoot, right? It's like a momentum thing. So say I pass the ball to Max and it hits him right in the stomach. And like the ball naturally will drop between his legs because he gets momentum to go up. If you watch Klay in all of his shots,
he's already.
Dude, the ball, he just keeps the ball high.
Yeah, he's already.
Like it's a catch and shoot. It's the quickest release. Him and Steph have the quickest releases in the game. Actually, his is quicker than Steph's. And it's that ability that makes him so unique, man. It's like by the time he catches it, you don't have a chance. Like your hand automatically has to be in his face. Right there. That was a catch and shoot in the corner that you see on ESPN2. So it's just special, man. It's special when he gets going, too. But Steph is the gravity that creates all this. Because when you guard him on high ball screens and AD is forced to play up and he's blitzing, it creates mismatches. And that's where Draymond Green is then able to catch the ball. And now it's 4 against 3. And he's such a good free safety where he's able to make reads. And guys like JaMychal Green, guys like Klay Thompson, they take advantage of it. And by the way, guess what else they did? Like we said we were going to do. They played small. They started JaMychal Green instead of Kevon Looney.
And that was because Kevon Looney was under the weather. But do you think they stick with that after the success?
I stay small.
Yeah.
I stay small.
Jay, how many shots do you think Klay get up a day?
Probably 300-400 made shots. Made shots.
That means he has to shoot like 405 to make 400.
Maybe 500 a day. But that's key. That's reps, man. That's just
that's why I asked you that, because it just it's flawless. It just
So my daughter's used to be in a basketball skills development program. He's taught Steady Buckets, right? You know about Steady Buckets. Coach Mackey and them, they would teach based on Klay, right? They'd be like, look, this is, like players will evolve the way the game is coached based on their success, and Klay's form is considered perfect.
So shout out to my boy. You check him out on IG. His hashtag, his name is Lethal Shooter, right? Honestly, and he works with every single pro. If you want to be a great shooter, work with him. And he posts videos where, and it's funny because from somebody who's gotten up so many shots, there are times where he'll post videos and him and I go back and forth. We laugh because the ball will go in 10 times in a row. And everybody's like, oh, you're shooting well. I'm like, yo, man, you hit the left side of the rim 3 out of 10 times. This guy, no. And it's like the level of adjustment where the ball pops in that, pop, pop, pop. All of a sudden, like when you're an elite shooter, that's a made shot. That sound is the repetition that you want to hear for a made shot. And Klay and Steph are like that, right? You can tell that when the ball goes in, it's like, oh, that was a great shot. But these guys look disappointed because the ball may have scraped the left side.
Yeah, Klay did not look like Klay did not look like the best version of himself last night. He's just hitting shots.
I asked you that because they're so prolific at what they do. It's ridiculous. And as like a football player, you say, well, what do you do? So my glovies is ridiculous. So in order to get them to be ridiculous, I had to catch about 300 balls a day. Like just whether it was through catching, jug machines, whatever the case is. So just, it's just like shooting.
Key, what's the sound like a catch where you know that joint is clean? Like
there is no sound.
There's no
Ain't no sound. No, the dudes that can't catch sound like they batting a volleyball down. You hear the boom. It's like
So what's it feel like? What's a clean catch where it's just Like, yeah, that's like the perfection of a catch.
It's soft. It's graceful. You know, it's smooth. Yeah. There's no blinking of the eye. You know, to a point where I was able to walk up at a